So whenever I see a post on Facebook or YouTube about somebody putting lights on their rig and asking which one should I go for, pretty much every time at least one person, if not more, says MYTrickRC. So I've grabbed myself some MYTrickRC lights for my Element Knightrunner and we're going to try them out. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back. First of all, a bit of an apology. It's been a little while since I put a video out. Things are slowing down a little bit on the channel at the moment. Costs are increasing, and obviously I buy all of this stuff myself. None of it's really sent to me or anything like that. So I think that's going to be the case this year. Cost of living's going through the roof due to various shenanigans by world leaders here, there and everywhere, including our own. So things are probably going to slow down a bit, but let's not worry too much about that. It's good to be back. So what we're going to do today is have a look at putting some lights onto my Element Knightrunner. So this truck obviously is a great looking truck as it stands. I bought the Element a few months ago. I haven't really used it that much actually because I've not been driving much at the moment. I've been out doing a bit of drone flying, which I haven't done for a while, so I've been enjoying that for a change. But one thing I really wanted to do with this, I obviously printed the Knight Customs light buckets pretty early on, actually, I think before the truck had even arrived, and I really wanted to get some decent lights in there. Now my first thought was the MYTrickRC, but I went onto their website and unfortunately they don't ship outside of the mainland US. I think they ship to the US and Canada and that's it. So that was a bit of a problem. I got in touch with them. They sort of explained that they're quite a small company and you know, all the paperwork to do exports is just a bit too much, which makes sense. A little frustrating though. So I searched around looking for kind of budget light kits to put in, and I did end up buying a sort of budget kit from China, and I got that on eBay. And it comes with sort of headlights, tail lights, reverse lights, indicators, all of that kind of stuff. There's no light bars or anything like that, so there's no high power lights. I was always going to have to add those in afterwards. And you know, I fitted that, and it's fine. It looks good, but you know, it's not brilliant. It's just cheap little LEDs on a controller. The controller doesn't look very robust. Don't think it'll last very long, to be honest. So the plan is to use the lights that came with that, because they're just 5-volt LEDs, so I can use those with this. So this is the Dragon Link DG1 controller from MYTrickRC. Sorry, Dragon 2 MYTrickRC DG1 controller. And this has 2 ports for regular kind of 5-volt LED bulbs, and then some ports for the high power light bars and what have you that MYTrickRC sell. This came in the kit that I bought, which was one of the Attack kits. It is. It doesn't actually say which version it is, so I'll put that up here somewhere. So I didn't buy the specific Element Knightrunner kit because that didn't come with the light bars and things that I wanted. So the Attack kit that I've bought comes with obviously this DG1 controller, which obviously runs can run directly from a LiPo with a JST connector, or there is an adapter to run it off a 2S or 3S balance lead. I'll be running it off a 3S balance lead. I think that's a great idea. It has this sort of central connector, which is very stiff, and I need to figure that out. There we go. It has this central connector. So that you can detach it and have all your lights and the controller on the body, and then this on the chassis, and you're not having to kind of mess about with the wires. It looks like a reasonable connector. It looks waterproof, but you're going to have to be careful with the pins because they're quite small pins. So make sure you line it up. It is keyed, so hopefully you should be able to line it up okay. But it also comes with lots of other stuff. So there are some regular LEDs. So these are just kind of running lights. These are all 3mm, but you can use 5mm lights with them. And these are just for kind of marker lights and tail lights or reverse lights, whichever you want to put those in as. It comes with a 5-inch very bright curved light bar. So we'll be figuring out a way to get that onto the roof. There are these really bright PCB headlights. Now I'm not planning to use those as headlights. I'm going to use those as rock lights on the front. There are some, again, high power spots. So these all plug into those 4 kind of black high power connectors on the controller. So we'll have some, hopefully mount some spots onto the bonnet. And there is also a, where is it? Oops, still in the bag, still bagged up, a 2-inch light bar, which I'm hoping I'll be able to squeeze onto the bumper. It comes with a bunch of zip ties and cable tidying solutions. There's some more there. It comes with 4 or 5 different mounting options. This one's for the 2-inch light bar specifically, and then all the others are kind of pairs for different mounting options. So there's some way you can mount them on a cage if you want to put it on a cage build, like the gatekeeper or something like that, and then some regular flat ones, and one to run down the one that runs down the side of the windscreen like that. So they're all in there. There are also some stickers and some sticky pads to stick those headlights down with, and a few screws for the mounting. Here we go. I know I'd seen it somewhere. So this is the Attack Off-Road Series 1252. Hopefully you can see that. But again, I will put the details up in the description, and I will have put them up on the screen by now already. So what I plan to do, as I sort of hinted at there, I've already got installed all of the LEDs that I need in the light buckets, front and rear. So I'm going to reuse those. That will mean soldering some of those up into a single connector, which I'm pretty sure is okay to do, because in the instructions and for the extras you can buy for this kit, there are some Y splitters for these so that you can run more LEDs off them. So I'm pretty confident that the controller will be able to cope with that fairly well. So I'm going to run what are currently indicators and the headlights and the tail lights all into the same connector, so they're just on as running lights. I'm going to keep the reversing lights as reversing lights, because you can set that up as an option on this controller so that when you're in reverse those lights come on. And then I'm going to have the sort of high power headlights on the Knight Customs wheel wells, so they fit quite well on there, I have been told. And there is a little screw hole in there, but I can easily kind of fit those on with a little sticky pad, either screw them into place or just put something over the top of there to capture that in. I'll probably do that. There are some, I think there are some pieces that come with that. So what I'm going to do now, as you can see under here, this thing's getting really heavy with all the interior and everything. Oh yeah, I put an interior and a little driver in. So I've got under here quite a lot of wiring already. So what I'm going to have to do is go and make sense of what I've done there and solder it all into a single loom so that I can run these off that controller. So I'll hop off now and do that, and then we'll come back and look at how we're going to fit the controller, where we're going to put the spots and all of that good stuff.
Montage.
So that's the existing lights that are already in from this kit, and this is the controller that I bought. It was really cheap. It was about £10, really cheap. And you know, it's okay. And what I got with it was a load of lights, which is quite useful. But it's not what I want. It's not what I really wanted. What I really wanted was that bit more control. So now we've got this set up, if I plug in all of my lights my whole loom to port E, which is the first of the white ports, working from A, E, F, all the way up to F. And then I plug my reverse lights into F. Now for now they're just going to come on because it's not programmed yet. And then if I connect up my battery, so that takes a second to boot up, and then you get all these sort of flashy lights on the controller, which hopefully are coming across okay on the camera, and there is a little button on there, so I should be able to switch things on from here. So if this has worked, all these lights are going to switch on. And it's partially worked. They are very dim. Some of them have come on and some of them haven't. So we've got very dim marker lights on the front. We've got nice bright lights on the back. So maybe these are just not the right sort.
Several months later.
Okay, so it is some considerable time later. I think, as I said at the start, things are kind of busy at the moment. A lot of stuff at work at the minute going on, so not really feeling it in the evenings. But I have finally got around to finishing off installing the MYTrickRC light kit. I've also given it a run out. I had a lovely afternoon, or a lovely morning actually, at Switherland Woods with a pal of mine a couple of weeks ago. Gave the lights a good test and they look great, they really do. They finished the truck off really nicely. They are super bright. I love that they're controllable. It was a really bright sunny day, and as you'll see from some of the running footage that I'm going to put up here, it was a super bright sunny day, but the lights still kind of are really very obvious, especially when they're on their brightest setting. So in the daytime you can still see them great, and in the night time when it's dark outside they are fantastic and you get a really good view. So overall I'm really pleased with them, but it didn't quite go according to plan. So my intention was to use the little surface mount LEDs as rock lights in the front and use the existing kind of plain 3mm, 5mm LEDs that I already had in the headlights, so that they would just be on at a constant level. However, that just didn't work out. The wiring loom that I put together, I don't know whether it was just overloading the socket or something was not right, but when all the lights were wired up together they just weren't working properly. It might be because I was using different LEDs from a different kit and they were perhaps a different voltage specification, different resistor in them. I don't know. I didn't really have the patience and the time to dig into it sufficiently. But I have a working setup, and a working setup that I'm happy with actually as an end result. So what I ended up doing was putting the headlights, the surface mounted headlights, behind the LEDs as they're behind the headlight clusters as they're supposed to be, and they're really good. I've got my what were originally indicators. They're running as marker lights at the moment, so they're just on when the lights are on. These two are just plain old LEDs that run off the ESC. Off the receiver. They're not wired into the MYTrickRC kit at all. So let's first of all power them on. So they are controllable from the radio. There is a connection for plugging them into your receiver. So that goes on to channel 3, and a double click of channel 3 will switch the lights on. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to pick this up here, but you can see that the little orange marker lights have come on, and the red tail lights are now on. I've got white lights behind the lenses of the reverse, so when we hit reverse they come on, so that's pretty cool. I like those. And I haven't got indicators anymore, which I'm sure many of you will be happy about, because for some reason people think indicators on scale trucks look terrible, and I'm starting to agree. I used to really like them, but I am starting to agree. They don't look very scale. Up and down a rock face, you're not going to be bothering whether you're indicating correctly or not. So that's the basic setting. The next setting is the kind of lowest setting with the lights. So what I've obviously done, I finished up putting the spotlights here rather than up on the bonnet where I was originally going to put them, but I thought, given the shape of them, they would probably need some strange mounts putting on there. I would probably have to design those to get them to sit flat and stay in place. So I was not really feeling that. So they've been mounted on the bar with a couple of zip ties, nice and easy. And I ended up having to use the 2-inch light bar on the roof, in the roof rack, because, let me just go and get the other one. This 5-inch light bar that I was originally intending to put up here, when you put the mounts on the side of it, they're just too big. There was just no way I could get them to mount and retain the roof rack, and I really wanted to keep the roof rack because I really like the scale rack on the roof. So this, I've decided, was a no-go. Now that is probably going to end up on the Sherpa, because I've been looking for a light bar to go back on the Sherpa. I'm going to buy just the little there's a little standalone controller that MYTrickRC do. It's about $20, so I should pick one of those up, and that bad boy, because it is really bright. You can see the future with this thing. That's going to go on there. So anyway, I ended up with the 2-inch light bar on the top, which is great. It looks cool. It looks all right once it's in there. I don't think it looks out of place. It is screwed into the rack. But the weird thing is there are only 2 LEDs in here. So when it's lit, it kind of just looks a bit like a spotlight. Let me show you. So anyway, let's switch them on. So double click again. Okay, so now we've got the spots on and we've got the headlights on. And also you might be able to see it very faintly, there are 2 LEDs that are lit in there. So this is at the dimmest setting for those surface mounts, and it should be the dimmest setting for this roof bar as well, or that might not even come on at this level. Then the next setting up is a slightly brighter, and those LEDs will now have gone out, so I think that's just kind of latent voltage in there, some weird thing that makes them light up a little bit. And then when we go for the third one, the lights will be at their brightest and the roof bar will come on. So I don't know how well that's coming across, but you can see this, the light from the LEDs is kind of centered in the middle a little bit. So I'm a little bit not happy about that, but they are super bright and they do the job. So there we have it. Pros and cons. Let's have a quick chat about pros and cons. Pros for this kit: definitely quality. I mean, it is absolutely a quality kit. You can see this is a chunky boy, this one. It is rugged. It's got these nice, really nice kind of jeweled plastic across the front, so it is a really nice light pattern that comes out of it. That's got 2, 4, 6, 8 LEDs in the front of it, so that is going to be super bright. So yeah, quality, great. Ease of setup, actually, yeah, they were pretty easy to set up. Just plug it all in where the manual says. It's a bit of a pain that you have to go online and find the right manual for the kit, but you know, once you've done that, that's fine and you've got it. So that's a good thing. Super easy to install, like I say. I have got a little bit of a rat's nest underneath now, but I'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, so pros: good quality, super bright, looks really robust. Pretty sure it will last a good long time, and it's waterproof. It's all waterproof. That has been tested. So cons: they are a bit chunky, these things. You know, they just feel slightly. It might be this truck, I don't know. They feel slightly too big in terms of the scale of them, but I can live with that. The wiring, I mean, it's the same, I'm sure, with any light kit, but the wiring, being super robust as it is, means that when you've got a tight space underneath the body, it is very tricky to run the wires and still have enough slack to be able to take the body off to just, you know, power the car on, you know, plug everything in, change the battery, whatever. So that's a bit of one of the cons as well. But overall, I think it's a thumbs up for the kit. Yeah, definitely, it is a really good kit. They are super bright. There's lots of variations of the kits you can buy as well. You know, you can buy one specifically for the Knightrunner. Perhaps I should have done that, but they weren't in stock. And one thing I missed earlier on in the video, I started to talk about the fact that I couldn't get these originally in the UK because MYTrickRC don't ship to the UK. So where did I get them from then? Well, I got them from A-Main. So A-Main stock MYTrickRC stuff, and they of course will ship worldwide. And they also, because of the price, shipped it for free, and it shipped really quickly. So really can't complain. I got them in hand within a week of ordering them. So that's brilliant. I really do like A-Main. Also, I suppose one of the cons possibly is the price. I think that the kit was about $120, which is quite a lot. But hey, you know, what price a good looking truck, hey? So there it is. I don't know if you can see my little fella in there. I've got my interior in there now. I've got my scale accessories. I'm pretty much done with this truck, I think. I don't think I'll be doing much more. I have got some different wheels and tyres to try on it. Let me get those. So I think I did mention previously that I might try and stretch the stock tyres over some 1.9s. Well, what I actually ended up doing was buying some Proline BF Goodrich crawlers. These are the same outer diameter, that same 3.75 inch outer diameter, but they're a 1.9 inner diameter. So I may give those a bit of a try. The only thing is they are quite narrow, so I don't know whether they'll be any good or not. But there we go. That's it for today, folks. Thank you for coming back. Sorry it's been such a long time between videos. Hopefully it won't be quite as long between this one and the next one, although I don't know what the next one is yet. But if you haven't done already, you know, do the usual stuff. Thumbs up for the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share among your friends, all of that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.